Welcome to the December 2nd, 2019 Advance Report for McGowanGroup clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. I'm Spencer McGowan, your financial weatherman president, McGowanGroup, and we've got a fast-paced tour each week of the global financial markets. 5 minutes of great education, so stay tuned. We're going to run through what's happened. Boom, we broke out of the trading range just now. We had said it was a trading range back here when we had the January 2018 correction. That's a 3-year chart ending the post-election rally. Now look at this channel right here, drawn by our technicians, Alex Tolene and Super Chuck Stephen Norris. Look at that, new highs on the Dow. What corresponded to that? The top stories of 2019 will definitely include a change in these dreaded trade wars and the looming recession they were going to cause. Where's that? It's gone because U.S. and China have formalized an ongoing trade negotiation platform, institutionalized it, if you will, and the Dow hit 28,000. Back this summer during this correction, we had said if Xi and Trump, Winnie the Pooh and Agent Orange can make nice, well, we might see 28,000 on the Dow based upon the trading pattern, and that proved to be correct. This was 22,000 on the Dow last Christmas. Well, happy Thanksgiving for 2019. This is a much better picture because you've removed that cloud and also the financial media calling for a recession or a looming recession based upon the trade wars, which are now just an ongoing negotiation. That's going to take some time. You're talking about probably a decade of institutionalized negotiation because the Chinese have been stealing stuff and their trade practices are unfair. Well, it's being addressed in a productive way. As we look at why this rally occurred, look at this. We have an earnings recession, and it actually started about mid-2018. Maybe the markets actually are predictive in terms of profit. Yes, profits matter. This earnings recession, we're right here in time, this earnings recession from the peak means that every recession in profits or even the economy doesn't necessarily spell disaster like 2008. What's ahead? Well, this is interesting. We pick up a little bit here in the first quarter of 2020. By the mid-year, we start to see a cycle of profit increases. Are the analysts too optimistic? That's what we're going to monitor here. That's why you should subscribe, because it does matter. These are S&P profits quarterly, by the way. Interest rates. Whoa, look at this. That's the 30-year Treasury hitting near 2% at the lows of the year, just below 2%, now about 2.2. Look at the inversion of the yield curve, which has since reversed. Remember, the yield curve inversion definitely predicted a recession. Oh my God, here we go again with the financial headlines. About half the people would like a recession so they could get a new president. Don't underestimate that power in the financial media. You got to block out the politics and focus on great assets that'll do well longer term, no matter who's in charge. Look at this. Well, that's the T-bill now at 1.5, 1.7 for the 10-year Treasury and 2.2 for the 30-year. It's no longer inverted. It's just a midget yield curve. And at some point, Europe will reverse. That'll be the great reckoning, which we'll cover in future episodes. But right now, stuff paying 5, 6, 7% or more, that's the golden opportunity, I believe, for the next 10 years. And it's a golden opportunity for your 2020 portfolio. What's ahead? GDP at 2%. Boring. Flat. The Fed actually predicted this, to their credit. And then we've got inflation not picking up. It's just 1.8%. Argentina is blessed with 50% inflation. That's, of course, that is politics, by the way. But 1.8% inflation is pretty good. So in the United States and developed economies, low inflation. And what does that mean? well, stuff paying 5, 6, or 7% is not going to be damaged by inflation, at least in the short term. And this forecast by the Fed actually goes about 3 years, 2% GDP and 2% CPI. Boring with scattered surprises. That's your forecast, but there are assets tremendously undervalued. And so, undervalued, well, over here we would look at dividend companies, the energy market. All the S&P 500 energy companies are worth less than one company, Apple Computer, although the energy companies make twice as much and have 4 times the revenue. There's a clue for what's a bargain, especially here in tax loss selling. High cash flow. Global high yield actually returned competitively with U.S. equity at near 20% returns for the year. Yes, both have price risk, but wow, that worked. But global high yield still has yields available above 7. Safety and income, we recommend against duration risk. And that means long treasuries, long investment grade, because if the rates spike, they could lose money, and you're starting out with 2 or 3%, which isn't going to turn out well, even if you get to fruition without a rate spike on the duration risk. What? You got money market at about 1.5. It sounds boring, but if you want safety, it's there. Floating rate loan funds, not without price risk, but a nice 5% yield. There's your 2020 portfolio. Come down to the Crescent. Meet the team that cares. 9 talented, dedicated people devoted to your success. We'll give you the tour or do a phone conference call. Be sure to subscribe to McGowan Group YouTube for your best fast-paced tour of the global financial markets. I'm Spencer McGowan. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel. I'm Spencer McGowan, President, McGowan Group, your financial weatherman. We sponsor each week NetWorthRadio.com broadcast that has the charts and graphs, many of which you saw today. We also sponsor this YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for fast breaking news, an alert when we post something in a market condition that may have changed. Our goal is to help you as an investor make the right decisions at the right time. And that's part of what this YouTube channel is about, as well as NetWorthRadio.com. I am well served with a team of 10 people, including myself. And that team that cares is actually made up of people who are devoted to your net profits and your success, as well as excellence in service. If you want an educational experience to follow this up, get to NetWorthRadio.com, the McGowanGroup.com. Right here, we disclose our net client experience all the way back to 2001. What that includes, the bear market cycles of 02, 08, 2018, and the recoveries through the most recent quarter. That is true education of investors and exactly how our clients have done, disclosed right here. Further disclosures, value at risk of loss. Yes, investments are going to fluctuate. That's part of the reason for this broadcast. And that can actually work to your advantage. We'll build that into your plan. So I urge you to go to NetWorthRadio.com, fill out the preliminary client questionnaire, a free 1-hour brainstorming session by phone or at the Crescent in Dallas, and we will map out a multi-year plan for you and your family that's appropriate. Just because we talk about a security on this broadcast or any securities doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until you have that written plan. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll be back next week as your financial weatherman.